Can we keep each other company?
Hey guys, it's Prim and I'm back with another video, and today's video is going to be about what's in my makeup bag. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So I'm just going to start by opening my bag and seeing what all I have in here, because I did not go through this before deciding to put this on there, which I've already done in advance, which I should have looked through and make sure everything was organized, but I didn't. Everything's in there, you know, just all packed up, not nice and neat. I was about to say nice and neat, it's not nice and neat. Everything's kind of thrown in there, but I will just foreshadow this video a little bit. It is like a lot of palettes and random things, but yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing that I have in my makeup bag is my Modern Renaissance palette, which, let me give you a backstory. So for my birthday, I really wanted this Modern Renaissance palette, right? Right. So what I did was I asked my aunt to buy me this for my birthday, and then she asked me what price it was, and I was like, oh, it's just $40. And she was like,
$40?
and I was like, $40. And she was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna check up on the internet real quick. If you know this about my aunt, you know she's an avid, really avid eBay user. So she went on eBay, looked up the Modern Renaissance. So she finds one that's $20. $20 in my head was really cheap. She was thinking that it was a good deal. I was thinking it's a good deal. On my birthday, when she gave it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a good deal. She's like, yes, I got it for $20. You could thank me later. And I was like, it's my Aunt Maggie. I was like, oh my gosh, Aunt Maggie, you're the best. Like, thank you so much. Like, in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best gifts I've ever got, because I've been wanting this for a long time. I still want it. That should foreshadow how this went down. I've been wanting this palette, the real palette, for a long time, and I got this palette on my birthday. Didn't get to swatch, didn't get to do anything, but I had no speculations. So some time goes on, I don't use the palette because I'm not, well, I use eyeshadows all the time, but I don't really wear eyeshadow out, and that time it was still school, so there's really no reason for me to just pick up the palette and just start using it without like some kind of event coming up. A couple weeks, maybe even a month passed, and my sister's birthday comes up in April. I get ready for the thing, I come to my eyeshadow, I start digging in these colors, and I start realizing how this stuff is not that pigmented. I was kind of hurt. I've never been scammed before. Just let me show you swatches. If you go look at any other Modern Renaissance swatches anywhere, I swear to you, it'll be a night and day difference between that, the real one, and this one, the scam by eBay one. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you some of the swatches. I'll show you 4 of the colors that I use the most, because I still use this. Like, you can see there's dents in it, but I don't use it enough to where you'd even get a dent in it. I don't even know if that explains it, but this stuff, it dents pretty easily. Only like certain colors dent pretty easily, and I just don't think this is even a close dupe for the Modern Renaissance, because I've swatched the real thing before in person. I think I swatched it at Sephora, and I swatched it at Ulta, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think I swatched it at Ulta too, and they were really buttery. The first touch, I thought these were pretty buttery, but at the same time, I feel like that was like the first layer. So they had to put their best efforts forward, basically, and then they scam you. See, they double scammed me. But yeah, let's get into the swatches. So I'm gonna swatch Love Letter right here, which is actually one of the more popular shades in this like whole Modern Renaissance palette. So just watch this. I'm digging in it pretty hard. And it comes out like this, which it looks like pigmented, like you can do some stuff, but at the same time it's really powdery. But let me just do it. Where should I do it? I'll do it right here. So do you see how uneven this is? There's like a whole powdery streak right here, and there's kind of like no pigment in the middle, and then there's a little pigment on the side. That's how uneven they are. But let me swatch some more for you guys so you can see. I'm gonna swatch Red Ochre right here, which is actually a nice shade, but I can only imagine if this was the real deal coming out of the Modern Renaissance palette. But let me swatch Red Ochre. But do you see that? How none of the stuff is really translating onto my arm. It's leaving like a patch of unevenness, and then like all the powder is going on this side. I'll swatch 2 more shades for you. Now I'll swatch the shade Rilger. Here's a swatch. You see how powdery that is? It's really like no excuse. All 3 of them, all the same. I'm gonna swatch 1 more shade for you guys. That's gonna be Bon Fresco. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, or it's Beyond Fresco. The spelling is B-U-O-N and then Fresco. Which, would that be like strawberry? Tell me down in the comments, because I don't know. I don't even know what language some of these are in. And now I'm gonna swatch Blonde Fresco, or Bon Fresco. I think it's a nice shade to have stuff put on top of it, but even by itself, like you can see, it's barely even translating. It's a no. But yeah, that's the Modern Renaissance palette out of my makeup bag. So the next thing I have is the Naked 2 Urban Decay palette from my makeup bag. Me and this palette go way, way, way back. These shades are so much better compared to the Modern Renaissance. It's crazy. Modern Renaissance. Let me just take the shade Tease with my pinky and just like look at that. It's so much better. That's a nice base shade. You can tell that it's actually went down all the same and it wasn't like patchy in the middle. So now I'm going to take a metallic shade. I'm going to take the shade Copper. And this shade, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Just look at that. I love that shade. Especially like to do all on the lid. It's beautiful. But yeah, that's my Naked 2. Then the next thing I have in my makeup bag is my Motives Element Color Box eyeshadow palette. And it comes with about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it comes with 8 shadows and really big pans. I really like all these colors in here. Got a nice white base right here. And these are like so buttery to the touch. And I'm gonna just swatch. Look at that. And then I'm gonna swatch one of the more metallic shades. I'll do this one right here. They really don't have any names. Look at that. But I'm gonna do it right beside it. Just look at that. That's so beautiful. That's another like all over the lid type of eyeshadow, kind of like this one, like Chopper and the Naked 2 palette. But yeah, these are all the shades in there, just in case you didn't get a good look at it. And yeah, that is my Element Color Box eyeshadow palette. Next, I have one of the oldest palettes
ever
in my makeup box that I shouldn't have, and it's this Eyes Lip Face eyeshadow palette. That's kind of broken out, but we're just gonna ignore that and just ignore like the broken mirror. But I guess we can look at all these eyeshadows that have been tortured to death, literally. But I guess I'll swatch a couple shades, especially like this one that's just calling to me. They have no names because it's like old Elf. And this is gold shade. Swatch it right next to this other shade from my Elements Color Box. That golden shade is like really good. I love that. I'll swatch another shade and it's gonna be this matte brown. And I'll swatch it next to Chopper from Naked 2. That's nice too. I can see that as a crease color. And that's the end for the Eyes Lip Face palette. So the next thing I have in my makeup bag is this Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. And it has, oh shoot. It has this brush that I use for like the metallic shades, but that's it. And the number of eyeshadows in the palette is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 eyeshadows, and they're pretty big and they're long. And I actually really like this palette. You can see like how many times I've swatched it, but I always come to this palette and I use this one and this one. And I remember one time, I think I used either this one or this one with this makeup thing. It was probably something like this one, but I used this to put all over the lid, and it made it really like nice and smooth. So I think this tool is especially good because it kind of feels like silicone in a way, and it just allows to put like the shadow on, the metallic eyeshadow at that, on like really smooth and just all in like one piece, and it doesn't really skip. Also, it's 2 shades out of this palette, and one shade's gonna be this color right here, and the other is gonna be this one right here. We'll do them at the same time, going down the arm. Wow, that was the worst swatch I've ever done in my entire life. And that's that for the Makeup Revolution palette. So the next thing I have in my makeup bag is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. And that is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, which I've talked about on my channel at least 2,000 times, at least in my head. And the number of shadows in this palette is about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
15.
15 shadows in this palette, and they're all beautiful. And out of this palette, I'm going to swatch 2 shadows again, and that's going to be Danger, which is this color right here, the blue shade, and then I'll swatch Harajuku, this pink shade right here. So this is Harajuku. That's beautiful, but I feel like I was pressing too much on that side. So the next one I'm going to be swatching is Danger. I love these eyeshadows. And that's it for the Gwen Stefani palette. And now we're into more miscellaneous things out of my makeup bag. So I'm gonna start off with this from my miscellaneous things. I really don't want you guys to judge, but I know you're gonna judge, but don't judge, maybe. Just, this was in my makeup bag. I know. Next. Then the next miscellaneous thing I have in my bag is this slap bracelet that says Princess on it. Ow, that hurt. Next. So I lied when I said I was done with the eyeshadows. I actually have one more thing, which is kind of miscellaneous, kind of small. It's actually not a big makeup palette, but it is this Clinique 2 eyeshadow palette thing. Oops. But it has this gold shade right here that I'll swatch on my wrist, which that's pretty pigmented. And then they have this purple shade right here, metallic, and they're both metallics. And I swatched white below it on my wrist. Both beautiful, but the gold is still in the show, definitely. But yeah, that's it for this Clinique palette. So this next thing I have is not really miscellaneous, but it is my dip brow from Anastasia. It's still in the box, so I like to keep it in the box. I don't even know why. And my dip brow is in the shade dark brown. So mine has been played with, thrown around, not really, but it looks that way. It looks like there's a whole playground going on in this thing. Just look at that. It's a mess, but isn't everybody's dip brow a mess? But yeah, that's it for the dip brow. So the next thing I have in my makeup bag is kind of one miscellaneous thing, not that miscellaneous to makeup, but it's my eyelash applicator from Kiss, which I've been looking for forever. I've been looking for this thing. So looking in my makeup bag, it turns out that the dip brow was the last thing. So that'll be it for my makeup bag tour. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Can we keep